Hello, and welcome. My name is Rudix, and I will be speedrunning Slender the Arrival today. I will actually be doing it on easy mode, so this will be easy mode any percent. If you'd like to see hardcore mode, you can check out my channel for hardcore mode runs as well. But this one specifically is meant kind of to teach people the game, just give a general understanding of what is actually involved in a Slender the Arrival speedrun. We're going to go ahead and start the game now. I won't be using a timer because, like I said, I'm going to be explaining a lot of things. You actually start the timer as soon as that screen stops loading. You gain control of your character. Originally, in 1.5 and before that, you had control of your character before the screen actually loaded all the way. So you started at the sound of the door slamming. Also, just to keep my sanity, I won't be doing the walking animation correctly. For the most part, I'll kind of use what we used way back in the day. But there's a very specific system for walking and running that I'll explain here in a minute. First off, though, I want to explain what's going on here, the next section. One of the very first things you need to do is, search the downstairs for a flashlight. Whether or not this door is open or closed is completely random. Whoops. And the flashlight actually has the ability to spawn in any one of these rooms. Oops. Oh my gosh. I'm so used to 1.5. There's two places here in the kitchen that it can appear, and it'll also appear in that room over there. And then there's generally one other spot that it can appear in each one of the rooms. Once you have the flashlight, you have to look for the keys. The keys can spawn in any one of the rooms upstairs, including that one over there. There is one place in each one of the rooms that it can appear, so you just get used to figuring out where that one spot is, and you move along. Once you've unlocked the door, you can basically just leave, since that opens the gate in the back. You don't have to actually walk into the room or do anything like that. And then, of course, you just leave the house and go outside through the gate. And we head into the forest area. And as we head over there, I'll kind of explain the walking and running. Generally, when I would do actual attempts of this game, especially on hardcore mode, you have a certain amount of stamina that goes along until you run out of... I guess it kind of determines like the rate at which you're moving. And as you run, the amount of stamina you have goes lower and lower, and as it goes lower, you get slower. So, in order to optimize the amount of speed you have, there is a certain threshold that you basically aim for. Of course, you can't see anywhere on the screen exactly how much stamina you have. You kind of have to just guess and be used to essentially counting how long you need to walk and run for. It's 20 seconds after you lose a certain amount of running. You'll basically go from a full sprint state to a... You eventually get to once you play this more and more, you'll eventually figure out where it is that you're no longer running. It's very easy to tell once you kind of get used to it. Probably takes about 20-25 seconds. And you kind of alternate between the two of them until you get to the end of the stage. So I'm basically walking at this point, so I would let go of the run button. Because as long as you're pressing the run button, like no matter what else is going on, as long as you're pressing the run button, you're losing stamina. So I would let go of it, wait for 20 seconds, and then start running again. If that makes any sense whatsoever. It's very, like I said, to keep my sanity as I'm trying to go through and explain the thing. I'm not actually going to be doing that. But it does save a considerable amount of time. At least 30 seconds or more in the first stage. Incredibly loud. The second stage, the fourth stage here, they start you off basically in one of several different areas. Each of the areas, for most of the areas, it's faster to travel clockwise through the stage. This one specifically is actually faster to go counterclockwise. Yeah, this one's actually the counterclockwise one. But we're going to stick with clockwise since that's what you normally would use. So when you go through the stage, there are 10 spawn points for 10 different objects. But only 8 of those objects have a sheet of paper in them. 2 of those spawn objects, which in this case I'm actually in one of them, the information building and the scrapyard, both always 100% of the time have an object in them. Everything else, though, there's always that chance that there's not an object there. So scrapyard and information building, the building I was just in, always have an object. The other 8 objects throughout the stage may or may not. So sometimes you kind of get screwed over in trying to figure it out, which is one of the reasons why it's in certain cases actually faster to go counterclockwise. But it's completely random basically on which ones do or don't. I'm actually, since I see the scrapyard, I'm not going to bother like looking around for other objects. I'm just going to find scrapyard actually has three different versions of the scrapyard, and each one has different spawn locations for the paper, so it's sometimes can be kind of a hassle to figure out where it is. I'm actually not very familiar with this scrapyard, so I really should have just like ran and tried to check out a different point. I may just go... This is literally the only scrapyard I don't know very well. I probably walked by it like 6 times. I'll go to a different spawn thing since I can see that one right there. But anyways, you always got to keep track of how many objects you've seen, so you know whether or not you'll still see a thing. On easy mode, once you get 5 pages, you can actually quickly end the stage altogether by just running at Slender. On easy mode, that instantly ends the stage, so you only need to get 5 pages. On normal and hardcore, you still have to get all 8 pages. And then on hardcore mode, you can actually die during this section if you run into Slender. So you have to be really fast at moving your camera up and looking around to make sure that Slender's not around still. So that's that stage. It's pretty easy once you get used to the layout. Initially it was probably the second hardest stage for me to learn, just because getting used to the layout is really confusing. And where they start you, since it's always random, it can also be really confusing as well. This stage also, same as the last stage, they start you out in a random section, and you just kind of got to get used to knowing which one you're at, so that you know how to get to your objective, like this area up here. Like which one? I'm basically at not the furthest random like location I can start at, but the second furthest. Unfortunately, this game has a lot of random factors to it. This stage is actually the hardest for me to learn because there are 6 different generators, and like I'm not even really sure anymore how many different spawn locations. It's something like 15 or 16 different spawn locations. So you kind of have to learn, first and foremost, the actual map layout. And then you go through and figure out like where along the map each of the spawn points can be for the generators. There's, of course, always 100% of the time this one right here. So you're really only looking for 5 generators. And I'll walk from that door over there up to this thing just so I have enough sprint once I hit this, because Kate spawns the instant you hit this. Whoops. Her location is random, and whether or not she starts coming to you or like towards you is based on the number of generators you've selected. So once you've selected 2, she'll start kind of heading in your direction. Once you've selected 3, she'll start definitely like coming into your direction. There's sometimes one that spawns like these little things right here, what actually where the generators are attached to. On easy mode, you just have to get a generator, same as normal mode. On hardcore mode, you also have to get gas cans. So if you watch any of my hardcore runs on my YouTube channel and you're trying to figure out what I'm doing in comparison to this, I'm also having to keep track of gas cans and the location of the actual generators. So I've gotten 3 of the 6 generators. So Kate's going to start making her way towards me. So what I'm going to do is see if I can figure out if there's a generator here. There's one that also spawns over there, but I don't really see the light for it. There's like a little red light that you'll see, kind of like right there, that helps you get through it. But since this is easy mode, we're just going to run straight through here rather than trying to figure out where Kate is. If you have surround sound, it makes it a lot easier to figure out where she is. And keeping track of her is not too bad, because you can actually, even on hardcore mode, you can take at least 1 or 2 hits. Wow, oops. She's right here though. She's gonna grab, oh. I was about to say, she's gonna grab me, but then she ran right through me. So she got me, but the problem is I need to head in this direction. The pathing you want to take through this stage, I spent a lot, me and also Flower, spent a lot of time basically looking at maps and trying to figure out the best path that had the most chances of getting what we needed, essentially. Wow, she is still in like stealth mode. She's a little bit glitched at this point. I'm also having to deal with Slender at this point, so we're just gonna like run right through here and hope for the best. She might turn around and catch up with me if she gets out of stealth mode. No, she's still in stealth mode. Oops. It's hard to see like this though. She's kind of glitched out. You used to be able to use this to your advantage, because she's still trying to essentially get away from me. There we go. When she caught me before, she spends like 30 seconds or so kind of resetting herself. I'm gonna gain some stamina. Oh, nope, she went the other direction. No generator there, no generator there. That's very unfortunate. Generator was probably actually over there, but I chose to skip out on it just due to the fact that Kate's actually over there. So I may have to remember that I didn't actually check that one, and I'll have to come back to it. Unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of like really bad RNG here. Oh, there we go. There's the last one. But just playing through this stage a lot and getting used to where all of the different generators can be, and just getting used to a... Oh, there she is. Hopefully I didn't just game over. Okay. It's easy mode, so I should be pretty safe, actually. But yeah, like I said, just getting used to the map layout. If you watch my hardcore mode, or even some of my other runs on my YouTube channel, you can see a little bit better, oops, of the actual pathing, or even Flower Speedruns runs of this as well. You can check out his YouTube channel. Just getting used to the actual, like, you kind of basically follow the left wall for the most part, and then you just kind of get used to the map. I did get to a point where I spent a lot of time just playing through this stage with my flashlight off to have a much better understanding of where to go, but that's definitely one of the harder stages to learn and get used to getting through, basically. On hardcore mode, like I said, you have to actually remember where generators are, because sometimes you don't always have enough gas to start the generators, and that was definitely another very good way to get used to the map layout. Although on hardcore mode you actually have limited battery life, so it gets kind of confusing and a little difficult at times, but it's not too bad. In any percent, you don't actually have to do the stage here with Charlie, so we're just going to walk right past that. Originally, like for the first week or so, you didn't have to do the stage with CR. There were a few days where, for some reason, you could just skip that stage, but they ended up patching it so that you now have to actually do this stage with CR. You can choose to do either CR first or Kate, the Kate stage where you actually play as Kate. It doesn't really matter which one you do first. I'm going to do the CR one first just because it's the closest tape to me. Once again, as you go through like this section, I would be doing the whole walking and running mechanic, waiting 20 seconds and then going on. I generally, because the in-game timer is not super accurate, I mean it's pretty close, so you could technically probably use the in-game timer, but I generally have my own timer up on the screen to help me keep track of that. And definitely over longer distance it can pay off. So I'm going to grab the CR tape. We're going to do the CR stage first. And then we'll do the Kate one. The stage is a little bit different from some of the other ones, because rather than collecting items of some kind, you're performing objectives similar to the first stage. First thing you need to do is hit that crank up there, which lifts up that thing right there. Then the next thing we have to do is go get gas cans. Luckily, the gas can spawns are pretty consistent. There's 2 of them that will spawn kind of near the entrance. So you check for the first one. If it's not there, chances are it's in the other area. There's like, I can't remember if it's between 4 or 6 spots that it can spawn, but you really only have to pay attention to those 2. Of course, I'm sure that now that I've said that, we'll have to deal with like some completely random RNG. You do have to hit that light when you first come down here. Alright, I can't see where I'm actually going. Gas can number 1. There we go. If you continue down that same hall into the next room, then that's where the other gas can would be. There's pretty much always one there. I typically like to walk until I get to that gate, because there is a dude sometimes chasing you, especially in hardcore. It can get a little rough right here if you're not going pretty precisely where you need to be. On easy mode it's not as bad, but they will definitely like one-shot you on hard. I don't know if they do on easy, but on hardcore mode you'll die pretty much instantly. But it's pretty, I mean it's super easy to not end up dying if you just aim for the door there. And then the next thing we gotta do here is, we went to collect the gas can, of course, to open this thing. Oops, flashlight is not the button. I remember the first time I went through this area, actually even now, still, every time I go through here, I always expect something to happen. And nothing has ever happened, but I know one day I'm gonna travel through this area, and something will happen there. So there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 4 different spots that the keys can spawn here. I'm just gonna start with this one. Oh, and luckily we got it. The keys can spawn right there. There's 2 spots in the shed. It might just be 1 spot in that shed. I think there's either to the right or in the middle. And then there's 2 spots up there that it can spawn, and it can also spawn right there. But luckily we got right there, the little first area. Most of the time it ends up being the shed for me for some reason. So we just backtrack through this like spooky little silo here. And head back to where we need to use the keys on the gate. Like I said, this stage is, it's very consistent. Everything's always pretty much in the same little area. I like to walk from a little bit past where I normally had, where I just had started walking, so that I have full stamina to make it through this run right here. Because you need to run from here to the gate. As soon as you step into the tall grass, there's a chance for the kids to spawn. So you want to avoid the kids showing up. There's a chance that none of them will spawn at all. I can hear one behind me and to the left, but there's a chance that none of them will spawn at all even. And in fact, there's been many times where I just stopped in the field and like went looking for them just out of curiosity. So we unlock the gate, and then we head into this room right here. It's very misleading. They make you think you need to pick up all this random other crap. You really just need to pick up the doll. And then nothing really happens until you actually step up onto the stage. So I'll walk till I get up to the stage, and then he comes bursting through the door. This way, when he starts moving, I have full stamina. So I just head out of here, kind of cut through here. I said that nothing really happens and you can walk. It's not that nothing really happens, it's that walking takes long enough that nothing really happens if you're walking. Unless you start like wandering around that building, you're pretty much safe just from walking. I'm going to walk around up here to restore a little bit more stamina before I drop down into this. Because as soon as you head out of this room, they spawn. So I gotta have full stamina to make it out of here without getting killed by this guy. It cuts it really close. So even if you're walking through all that, you're gonna die. Like, I almost didn't make it through there. It is really, really close. So you pretty much have to have full stamina to go through there. As far as I know, I mean, I could be horribly wrong. They may have changed it, but oops. I always hit F. I'm so used to hitting F from other games. So we play as Kate in the stage. Originally, you would just kind of start from the upstairs and work your way down. Because of the way this stage works, it's actually more consistently faster to just go straight down the stairs. So I hit a couple of these just because they were on my way. But you want to get at least like 5 of them before he'll really start making his way around. So at this point, he's able to start spawning inside. So what I want to do is kind of get him to spawn inside so that I can go upstairs. So unfortunately, he's not spawning in here. We're going to go upstairs and hope he spawns upstairs. Normal luck, I would actually be able to go to my room by now. The last 2 I need are right here, so hopefully he doesn't kill me. Alright. He has not spawned, which is very unfortunate. I was going to say that puts me at risk. In order to end the stage, you need to do one of 2 things. Either get all 8 windows, or have him show up inside. So what you try to do is get 5 really quickly so that he starts... he's able to spawn inside at 1, but the chances of him actually spawning are much, 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 much higher at 5 than at 1. So since you can get 5 relatively quickly, you basically like get 5 and then start trying to make your way back to your room. I had very bad luck there, unfortunately. I pretty much almost got all 8 of them. I just had to get 1 more. But luckily he spawned in the room, so I didn't really deal with it. But it is much easier to just go for the 5 and then head back for your room. And if it turns out like what I had there, where he just was not spawning, then you're probably going to end up having to get all 8. You can actually take like severe damage from falling there at full speed, which slows you down quite a lot, so we don't want to just fall off that thing. In this stage, originally on easy mode, you didn't take any damage from the fire as you ran up this hill coming up over here. So what you did is you basically lined your character up with the tower and just ran straight through the trees and the fire and everything. Like, you just basically ran straight up there. In 2.0, you take a little bit of damage and you can actually die from fire here. So you basically just try to kind of line yourself up, and then as best as you can, try to make it through the trees. Fortunately, Slender is right on me. We'll try to avoid a little bit of damage here. He's being a little bit annoying today, so it's not too bad, but as long as I at least kind of have the tower in front of me, we're doing pretty good. You generally want to turn around whenever he is coming in on you, because the game will generally try to respawn him in front of you, so you try to forcefully get him in front of you by turning around and then kind of strafing. This stage can be super annoying, because as soon as that keys can spawn there, or also on that right there. Super unfortunately, they're in the very last spot they can be. So there's an invisible enemy that appears as soon as that door closes, and he's going to start heading towards me. He may actually kill me, but it's not that big of a deal because it starts you like right back here. He travels down the center of the hall, so we're going to kind of hug the right. Okay, good. So I didn't have to deal with him. A lot of times I'll actually just end up dying there.
I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I'm so sorry.
You actually want to stand right on that door. That's the fastest way to end the stage. But for you all's enjoyment, I'll stand back here. If you stand right on that door, then you of course get hit like immediately. So this thing you just need to pick up 2 items and then leave. It's pretty quick. You can actually grab one of the items from across the room. I'm bad at lining it up though. I used to be really good at this when there was crosshairs on the screen. You can actually grab this other item from basically way over here. But it is, you grab the item off of that thing, and then there's an item that's along this wall, like it's taped to that wall back there. But since you can grab it all the way over here, you don't want to walk all the way over there. That takes forever. And then you just make your way all the way to Kate at the end, and the game's over. Pretty short, pretty easy. Not a big deal. And there you go. You speedrun Slender the Arrival. If you would like to check out a hardcore version of this run, I have at least 2 on my YouTube channel. You can check out those as well, if you would like. And then of course this is easy mode. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and hopefully maybe you guys will get into speedrunning Slender as well. If you have any questions, feel free to leave some in the comments. My knowledge of this game is pretty extensive, and I'm always willing to help out those that are curious about running it themselves. Thank you. See you guys later. Yo, thanks for watching. Be sure to also check out my Twitch stream to see me play games live. Also, check out my Twitter and Facebook pages if you'd like to see what other shenanigans I've been up to.